You're out getting good with your pals the other night.
It's Thirsty Thursday, and that means we're once again hanging out at the Produce Stand, a podcast paying tribute to the great Canadian show Letterkenny. Now, I know what you're thinking. There are many other podcasts about Letterkenny out there, but this one is guaranteed to get you laid. I'm Al, your host, and joining me in the room, as always...
Did you pause for a laugh there?
No, I just realized I'm not sharing the screen. So they don't hear anything. Here we go.
We'll just pretend we get it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's okay. Victor's still playing with all his...
Yeah, one of these days we'll actually have a smooth intro to this. But yeah, as I said the joke, I realized, oh, crap. They don't even hear the music. They don't hear anything right now. So anyway... I'm Al, your host, and joining me in the room, as always, is the lovely Tanya. And online, we have Squirrely Matt, coming off vacation, and the... Oh, thank you for that. Here, let me do mine too. 1 second here.
Oh, that was slow and...
That's right. I like to do it slow.
You got to open the can. Own the can open, man.
And the inconceivable Victor.
Hello, everybody.
His enthusiasm is radiating today.
I know. Tell me about it.
I was just taken down a notch. I was ready with my guitar, and when I plugged it in, I realized my battery was dead.
Oh. So you had the same thing where I was all excited that this intro was going smoothly until I realized I wasn't sharing the audio.
Yeah.
Same
thing.
Fucking
amateurs.
So, I can't work with these fucking amateurs. All right. We're available on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and Spotify, everywhere you can get podcasts, and you can follow us on Twitter at Produce Stand Pod. How you guys been this week? Let's start with Matt. Matt, you were on vacation. How was vacation?
Yeah. Sorry, everyone. I know that everyone was devastated that we couldn't do this last week, and I take full credit for that. But it was awesome. Especially
Miriam. Miriam even commented on Twitter.
I saw that, and I kind of loosely apologized, but not really, because it was great. We went up north and had a cottage and just effed off from the city for a week. It was great, man.
That's not the cottage was just outside Huntsville, right?
Yeah. We rented a place with the family and the in-laws. Luckily, I like my in-laws, so that was great. It was in the boat. Got my oldest son up wakeboarding.
Nice.
And basically the whole week in the water. It was epic.
Yeah,
perfect.
Awesome. Victor, how was your week?
Yeah, it was good. Weather's been really good lately, so I've been enjoying my runs. It's a lot nicer to run in cooler weather, so I like that. And but working, so it's not that much free time. So
you're still running, eh? How much are you running a day?
Well, I'm not running every day. I'm running every other day, and when I go out, it's usually around 10K.
Wow.
I've got to hit at least 10K, so otherwise, I'm not gonna do it.
That's
you're a beast.
That's about 12K more than I run a day.
How long does that take you? Like 2 hours?
Yeah.
What? No. Just around an hour, like depends on the weather, right? So if it's 24 degrees or less, then I'm under in that 55-minute mark or less. But if it's 27 or more, I'm like around 110.
Are you going to run
it? Like anywhere between 5:30 and 6 minutes per K, roughly?
What's that? Oh, yeah. Per K, yeah. So it's anywhere from 5:30 to 6 and change.
Yeah.
You're a machine.
Are you training for a marathon or anything like that?
No, I'm just trying to maintain my diet.
That's impressive because your running partner is leaving the country. So, hey Victor,
I remember we did that half a couple years ago, and we were all talking about how hard we were working. Victor was like, "Yeah, it's no problem. I'll show up and I'll do it," and he did. And it was like you, and I'm sure you work hard because it sounds like you run a lot, but you made it sound like you barely did it, and then just showed up and ran a half marathon like it was nothing.
No, like when I started running, the first 6 months was brutal. Like it was every day, it was pain. My knees, I had like chronic knee pain for 20 years. And when I started running, my knees just started getting even worse. So I kind of thought, is this going to, I'm not going to be able to play with my grandchildren and things like that. So I started doing some research, and half of the internet, I called the internet guy. And apparently half the internet thought that I was permanently damaging my knees. And, the other half said, no, you just need to get over the hump. So I went with the latter.
You gotta love Dr. Google. You always find the answer you want.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's just it. You build your own narrative, right? and so the narrative I wrote worked for me, and I did get over the hump, but it did take like 6 months.
Yeah.
And I have I have zero knee pain. So this is just for me.
That's good.
I've got
Wow.
zero knee pain after 20 years of chronic knee pain, and I
Now-
thought, it's great.
Now, is that because you lost weight during the 6 months, and then
No.
that's why you?
No.
Oh, no.
No, it's building up muscle
Huh.
in the specific areas of your legs where you're not putting all the pressure on your ligaments, and it takes time for that to happen.
Well, it's good that you're keeping it up because your running partner, she's leaving the country, so you're gonna have to just keep going.
That's just it.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'll have to visit her, and we'll do some nice. I'll take a couple of routes around her new town. So
Yeah, well, shout out,
She said.
shout out to, shout out to Sherry. We're gonna miss her when she moves to Amsterdam. Oh,
Yeah.
Matt didn't know.
She's the one that got me into it. So kudos to her.
What? Okay, this is an offline conversation.
Yeah,
'cause
Matt didn't know.
I just heard something I didn't know, and okay.
All right, we'll take it offline. All
I
right.
know what I'm doing tomorrow.
So yeah, exactly. Well, tomorrow's her last day, so yeah.
Jesus. That bitch.
Talk about getting your COVID kind of push out
Yeah.
and get on with
Right.
things.
And I thought we were friends. Apparently not.
Well, you were away. You went on vacation, and
But
you
this
know,
couldn't have been news that just developed over the last 4 days.
it kind of developed last week when you were away.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, you'll talk to it tomorrow. And so, speaking of Twitter, which we weren't, but I needed to segue into Twitter. I just want to say, in the week that Matt was off, I was posting a lot of clips and stuff from the last episode, and we're getting a lot of plays. Our plays have increased by 3,000%, which it just means they were really, really low before. But it's going up.
I was going to say, we have
Significantly.
3,000 listeners now?
No, 3,000%. So
Wow.
it took us 4 episodes to get a certain number of listens, and in the last episode we've tripled that. So not bad. And that maybe you should go on vacation more often, Matt.
That's it.
So I just want to shout out some of our new Twitter followers. Miriam, who actually gave Matt shit for going on vacation because she was just getting to enjoy the podcast. And Miriam comes to us from the Toronto Mike podcast. She's what is known as a FOTM, friend of Toronto Mike. And when she heard that I was starting one up, she was very nice to come and check it out. She even said, "Oh, I can't wait. I'm actually waiting for season 3 to come out of Letterkenny to come out at the library so I can get it." So she's one of those weird people that gets her
Weird people. That's not weird.
That's
I
still-
spent 3
that's still
years
a
doing
thing.
that.
It's still a thing. No, she got season 3 at the library, so she's been listening along, and when we took a week off, she got a little perturbed. But so she
Miriam, it's savvy. It's not. It's not weird.
No,
Not
it's
at
not
all.
weird. I appreciate you, Miriam. You know I do. Also, Crazy Talk Al, and that's not Al. That's not a guy's name. That's Allison Brooks from AllisonBrooks.com. She's a writer. Amy Whitaker from New Brunswick. Shout out. Paul Morris from Toronto. I wonder if wasn't the guy who used to do the Leafs announcements his name Paul Morris? The guy who announced the goals, Victor.
I don't recall that. I know Frost, but
Andy
that's the
Frost.
more
No,
recent
before
one,
Andy Frost. Yeah. Thor, son of Odin from Parts Unknown. Brenda LaSalle from Georgia. We have a lot of Americans listening. Howl 14L or something like that from Washington State. Anthony Pacheco from California with the last name like that. You've got to be a fellow pork chop. Brian Ross from he's an American living in Germany apparently. Jude. So Jude, she made these deep fake videos. Have you ever heard of deep fake?
Yes.
Yeah. So she made deep fake videos of Hulk Hogan, but she imposed Wayne's face on Hulk. And it looks really weird. But then she made this other video of The Rock, the wrestler The Rock, but she imposed Katie's face on The Rock, and weirdly it looked really cool. So shout out to her. For some reason, the Venn diagram of WWE fans and Letterkenny fans seem to overlap quite a bit. Brittany Sarah from Canada, rural Rust Belt from parts unknown, Jeffrey Hazelwood from Indiana, Paul J. Updike from parts unknown, Jason Cutler from Maine, and V from parts unknown. So that's 16 new followers in the last week.
Hooray!
Incredible.
I know.
Incredible.
Jason,
any iTunes reviews?
No iTunes reviews yet. So get on that, people. Pitter patter, get some iTunes reviews. Jason actually did shout out on Twitter. He said, enjoying the show, Ferda, and so much good stuff to come. Ferda, they don't even know Shorzy. Can't wait till y'all fuck that pig. Keep up the good work. So he's enjoying it.
Oh, Shorzy.
Yeah, so Matt and I know about Shorzy. Tanya and Victor don't yet.
Oh, we're jumping the gun, but we got our first meeting of him.
Yes, we did. So let's.
Yes. Yeah.
So you know what? Oh, and before we start the recap, we do have our first guest lined up, and that's Dean Giles from the How Are You Now podcast. He's going to come on with us. I'm thinking maybe between seasons, so maybe at the end after we've done the last episode of this season, we'll have him on to do like a recap or whatever to chat with him. So he's from the How Are You Now podcast, the toughest podcast in Letterkenny. They're out in Seattle, and he's excited to come in, to join us. He's been listening, and I've listened to them, and we'll have a little friendly chat. But down by the end of the lane.
And Seattle, we can talk Grey's Anatomy too, right?
Or the Kraken. I mean, I don't know. Sure. Is Jen?
There you go.
Is Jen watching Grey's right now?
No, she was upset that I had to step out to the porch. But,
isn't she used to this yet?
Isn't she what?
Isn't she used to this yet?
Yeah, you'd think, but it's still a disruption to her evening.
Oh. I'm
2 weeks off, you have to Ferber her again.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, jeez. Here we go.
It doesn't work, man. It doesn't work.
All right, here we go.
Every Thursday, I remind her, and it's still
let's get at her.
the same thing.
All right, pitter patter, let's get at her. 2 weeks ago, we reviewed season 1, episode 3, Fart Book. The episode received surprisingly and amazingly a fresh rating from Victor and Tanya, and clearance ratings from Matt and myself. So today we're going to review episode 4 of season 1. Matt, have you done your homework?
Yes, I did.
When did you do? Yesterday, or just before getting on today?
I tried to get ahead. I know we got in trouble last time for procrastinating.
No,
so
you
I
did.
Tried to do it whatever, man. I tried to do it yesterday, and it didn't happen. So I ended up doing it about an hour ago.
All right.
Hey, that's better than last week. Or wasn't it like 30 minutes before the show?
Yeah, you were actually complaining the show went on too long because you were probably rushing to to get to this. Victor, you've done your homework?
Yeah, unfortunately, I did.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Why are you saying unfortunately? Did you watch the same episode I watched?
Oh, this is going to be fun. I already dissension. All right. Did William and Linda watch?
They did as well.
I feel like I know why you didn't enjoy this one. Anyway, we'll see if you enjoyed it or not.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll start with a recap. The cold open is springtime at Letterkenny, and that means spring fever. The Hicks are at Modean's, talking about how long it's been since they've had relations. And Gail reminds them that the college girls will be home for summer soon.
We should just be out there just pole vaulting around town, boys.
Wouldn't say no to a bit of toe curling. I don't mean maybe.
Won't be long before you have the option. College and university kids will be home for the summer next week.
Oh, that should help your spring fever, which is a serious condition if not handled appropriately.
Mini skirt and T-bar season.
Yep, by all means, ladies, express yourselves.
Just go easy down there, Squirrely Dan.
I suffered severely from the spring fever last year. Had to go into full cougar mode with an 18-year-old.
Oh?
May have been my second cousin.
Oh.
It's either that or be at home flicking it to Grapefruit League baseball highlights.
All right.
Too far.
There's some great lines from Squirrely Dan in this one.
This is ever.
But also Gail's just so filthy.
His lines are elevated because everyone else's lines are so degrading.
Oh, boy. Yeah. So speaking of degrading, anyway, so Gail proposes a bet.
I say we make this interesting. Whichever one here grabs a tail first gets $50 off their bar tab.
In.
That is a Texas size 10-4.
Now you two get after it.
All right, so Squirrely Dan and Derry are placing a bet to who's going to get lucky first. Wasn't there a Seinfeld episode like this? Or that wasn't who was going to get lucky. That was who can go the longest out masturbating, right?
Yeah. Not exactly.
Do that.
What's that?
So why would one do that?
I don't know. But
a stupid ass bet.
the storyline did seem a little familiar. So Wayne doesn't accept, but Derry and Dan are in.
Here's a tip. When the getting's good around here, stay close to your pal Wayne. Kid's got more spunk than a hotel room hand towel.
Well, here's a tip. Don't fart in a spacesuit.
Here's a tip. Don't sneeze when you're taking a piss.
Here's a tip. It's really hard to get tuna out of your dick hole.
Squirrely Dan.
It's funny. I thought that's what he said, but I didn't quite catch it. So rehearing it and confirming that is just better than I thought it was.
Here's a tip, Scar. Hard to get tuna out of your dick hole. And no elaboration, no anything. Just drop that vivid picture right there.
It's like it's a small town pie fucking, right?
Yeah. And that's where we get Wayne's first word of wisdom.
You naturally prefer companionship, but I guess there's a lot worse things than playing a little one-man couch hockey in the dark.
One-man couch hockey in the dark. So, all right, there's a setup for the first this episode, Spring Fever. Basically, it's going to be an episode about horny Letterkenny
Wingman.
Yeah, Wingman. Well, Wayne's the wing. Yeah, Wingman Wayne. So, what were your first impressions, Matt?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm very optimistic about this one. This one made me laugh right from the get go, and you know, there's a lot of depth to this episode.
What? How can you even say that?
I know, I'm kidding. But now that we're over the fart book hump, this one was so refreshing, and I'm excited to hear actually Tanya's opinion as we get into this, because there's a lot of what Wayne says and opinions on what women's likes, and I'm curious to see if there's any actual truth to some of this, or is he all over the fucking map?
I think Wayne is a very well-read hick. I really he comes up with he drops some knowledge in these episodes, but him and Squirrely Dan, but I feel like Squirrely Dan's mostly the useless knowledge dropper, but everything Wayne says is pretty useful.
And he's a class act if you pay attention this episode.
I think so too. I agree. We'll see what Tanya, because once again, I don't know if when she watches it with me, she deliberately doesn't show any reaction, because I'm just sitting on the couch giggling to myself, and every once in a while I'll steal a peek and she's not flinching. So I'm like, oh God, she's hating this. But we'll see.
But do you typically laugh at things out loud when you watch things if you find them funny? If
it's funny to me, absolutely, I will laugh out loud. But
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, for the most part, I guess I can sit, because it's like watching a magician. If you kind of start thinking too much of what it is that he's going to do, you're going to miss what he does. If you try to figure it out, you know what I mean? It's the same thing with comedy, especially this show. If you start laughing, you're going to miss a pile of things that they say and have no idea what's going on. So,
yeah.
So it's the line about not letting yourself go, because you do secretly find it hilarious.
Absolutely not.
But you don't want to
absolutely not. I shake.
Yeah, I'm someone who I've been laughed at for years for laughing out loud so aggressively at things I watch, even if there's no one around. I could be watching TV by myself, but I remember watching a movie with a couple of friends one time, and I was dying the whole movie, and him and his girlfriend, not a word from them. And when we got to the end of the movie, I looked at them, I said, so did you guys like it? And my buddy's like, yo, it was the best movie I've ever seen. I'm like, are you sure? Because they didn't flinch the whole movie.
Yeah. What about you, Victor? What were your first impressions?
Well, like Matt, I was optimistic as well, but it went a different direction for me.
Oh.
So I thought, I thought for some reason, I thought it was going to be a hockey themed episode.
It is.
And well, yes and no. And there's two storylines, right? But the kind of the main storyline is kind of set up in this scene. And, I already had kind of my thoughts about the Gail character in terms of I'm not really liking the way where they're going with that character. I don't get why they need to make her so crude. And that part, I can't really get I can't picture a real life scenario, even in Hicksville, where you've got a bartender that is that is like that. I mean, so the kind of the plot that is being set up here sounds like it could be fun, but the way that it's set up in such a crude way by this, like the only other female in the show that they make just so nasty and disgusting, it just put a bad.
So Victor,
put me in a bad place.
It's a comedy, right? You know that, right? And
I'm not trying. Listen, I'm not trying. I get it.
Victor's a prude.
But I agree with Victor. It's not about it. Yeah, it's a comedy, but they take her character too far where it's off-putting.
You know what I find?
She's too nasty.
You know what
nasty.
What I find that they're really good at in this show, and we're going to see a lot more evidence of this later, is they're really good at flipping expectations or kind of doing the opposite of what you think. So usually on a show like this, you have a crude character like that, and it's a male character. In this case, Gail is, and she's.
That's a good point.
The filthiness is amplified by the fact that it's a woman. Like, I think if the same stuff is being said, or maybe not exactly the same stuff, but because it's very gender specific, but similar stuff was being said by a male character. I mean, I think of like what's his name? Barney, was it Barney Stinson from How I Met Your Mother?
Or even go to like Stifler in like American Pie movies and things like that.
Or Dan, one of the dirtiest, Dan Fielding in Night Court. I mean, those were famously like filthy characters who, because they were men, got away with it. So so Letterkenny does that a lot, and Gail, I think, is one prime example of that.
And you make a good point.
Yeah.
Good point. Except that she's literally the only other woman so far.
Okay, but you got to give it to. This is episode 4, Victor.
Well, I know. Yeah. Listen, I'm not putting the whole thing on this. I'm just saying the way they start the episode.
It's all good. And I asked,
hook me.
Yeah, and I asked you
because of that.
Yeah, I asked you for your views on that. Another one there is Katie, because Katie, you're right. She's she's kind of loose. But
she's loose but likable. It's a little different.
Yeah, loose.
There's nothing likable.
I can't lie. I crush on Katie a little.
Yeah. Well, but the thing is with Katie, again, if Katie were a male character, people wouldn't flinch. And the other thing about Katie is she's in these kind of situations, like in a polyamorous relationship with the 2 hockey players. But she's the one in control.
But she's in control. Absolutely. Yeah. And that's the difference between the 2 women is one is like, no, this is what I will stand up for. This is what I will put up with. And you better improve yourself sort of thing. And the other one just wants to do it anywhere and flick herself and grind stuff. And
there's nothing so far. There's no upside to her.
No.
Well, yeah, then you're not going to like this episode at all, because there's a whole lot more coming from Gail.
Yeah, I take the Gail bits out, and it becomes much better.
All right, scene 1. We're still at scene 1. The hockey players are chirping someone from the opposition team during a game. This is the first time we hear Shorzy, who joins in, but definitely not the last time.
Wearing number 22 for the Tackville Tornadoes. Who fucking cares?
Dig deep, bear down, you fucking hero.
You're my fucking hero, Tutu.
Nice flow, you fucking donkey. Take a lap.
Hey, give your balls a tug, you tit fucker.
So that high pitched voice at the end there was Shorzy. So Shorzy is a recurring character that you never see his face, but he's
22.
No. So they're picking on 22. Shorzy's actually on their team. And he's an interesting character. He becomes a favorite of many people online. Anyway. He's played by Jared Kiso. So Wayne plays Shorzy as well. So that's why
you can hear it. You can for sure hear it.
Yeah. But yeah, I
have to go back and listen again.
Yeah, there's a scene featuring.
You'll get lots more chance.
Yeah, there's a scene featuring Shorzy in a bit that Tanya, I'm sure, will remember. The hockey players look up in the stands where all the puck bunnies are sitting, but they don't see Katie, and they wonder why she doesn't go to their games anymore. Scene 2, back in Wayne and Katie's kitchen, the Hicks are talking about what they're looking forward to most about the return of spring in Letterkenny. Wayne is looking forward to playing Big Buck Hunter, the video game. Squirrely Dan is looking forward to Gail's pickled eggs or pickled sausages. There's apparently no wrong answer to that question. Derry is looking for love, and Katie warns Derry not to get his hopes up too high. Then we learn about the Hicks stance on belts.
You guys gonna be wearing belts?
Hard no.
Why don't you guys wear belts?
Because we buy pants that fucking fit.
Why would I buy a piece of leather that costs $25 when I have a perfectly good skate lace at home?
$25, no.
Fucking 25? You're lucky to have a $25 belt. Fuck. You been to Winners lately? You're talking about $35, $45.
Winners, slow down there, Mr. Rockefeller. I go down to the flea market in St. Jacobs. $25 gets you at least 5 belts. Plus a commemorative belt buckle says Jesus holds up my pants for Sunday morning.
Jeez. I love it. So, for those of you not in the area, St. Jacobs is a well-known Mennonite or Amish community.
Mennonite.
Is it Mennonite?
Amish. Sorry, Amish.
Amish. Yeah.
They have a wicked market.
Yeah, they have a market where you can buy belts that say.
Which also I think plays like again. We know the show is filmed and created up in the Sudbury area, but I think the St. Jacobs reference also takes them back closer to where the show is inspired from in that area.
Yeah, so there was that kind of came up in the How Are You Now podcast. They were wondering because they're from Seattle, they don't know, but when they refer to the city, which city are they referring to? So if this takes place in Listowel, the closest major city would be Toronto, only a couple hours away. But it's shot in Sudbury, and Sudbury's like 4 or 5 hours from Toronto. So the closest city there would be Ottawa, right? Probably.
Mennonite. Google just weighed in.
Mennonite?
Yeah.
St. Jacob? Yeah. Okay, there you go. All right.
Mennonite.
That would bug me.
So Jonesy and Reiley, next scene, Jonesy and Reiley awake Katie at the end of the laneway, mourning yet another loss, I think 10 in a row. It's everyone else's fault but theirs. They start naming off players on their team. Victor, you probably enjoyed this. Schultzy, Soupy, Smitty, Millsy, Cartsy, Burnsy, Berksy, Coopsy, who's playing like Poopsy, and that triggers them to make fun of all like NHL players. Milan
Tukaras, Roberto Luongo,
Milan Pupic and PK Puban and Ryan Pugin Hopkins and Pukarask, and it's
Pukarask, that was a favorite and for William.
Saku Koipu. Katie walks up and they ask her why she doesn't come out to any of their games anymore.
Katie, how come you don't watch us play anymore?
Because you're dog shit?
Because you're dog shit. And they're like, no, we're not. Oh, wait, maybe we are.
Honest.
Yeah. But they're self-reflective because they're like, oh, you're right. You make a point. The coach isn't playing us. So maybe we are dog shit. So they go and talk to their coach about getting more ice time. And this is where we meet for the first time. Coach. I don't think he's got a name other than Coach, but he's played by Mark Forward, and he's awesome.
We're the biggest Pantene pros in the league. Mixing some big minutes for a couple of sticking pocksters.
You guys don't give a shit about winning. You just like the hockey player lifestyle. You're posers.
But what do we got to do?
Need to get in shape, study the tape, play with some intensity.
Hold my spitter. So basically what you're saying is we're at this level, but we got to get to this level. Done. You're a fucking beauty.
Registered beautician.
What do you guys think of the program?
Well,
just kidding. I don't give a fuck.
We're going to see a lot more Coach later, but yeah, that's registered beautician.
the beauty comment still again. I think I said in the first episode, one of my closest friends is a full-on jock, and he uses beauty on the regular. Like I'll get a random text. They're like, dude, you're a beaut. Yeah. And it makes me laugh every time. So when I watch these two idiots, I think of him, and it's spot on. It's awesome.
Yeah. Scene 5, first night at Modean's, hopping with college girls. Wayne is playing big buck hunter pro and making some money. He's hustling. Dan is at the bar treating Derry to one of his patented life lessons.
That's when she cut off her balls.
Cut off her balls?
Correct.
I think you mean cut off his balls.
Incorrect.
Oh, no?
Oh, yes. That is why you never give a sword to a hooker.
And that is why you never give a sword to a hooker. Yeah.
Squirrely Dan was on fire this episode.
Oh, man. Derry notices a nice-looking group of girls, but then he finds out that one of them dated Boots, and so we revisit the ostrich.
Oh, the friggin'
saga.
ostrich!
And Gail adds her 2 cents to.
This is real talk, all right?
Here we go.
She dated Boots for a little while before he went to jail.
Guys, ever hear anything about that guy fucking an ostrich?
No,
the ginger fucked an ostrich.
Allegedly.
It would take more than one guy to fuck an ostrich.
We've heard that it was a sick ostrich.
Well, it would take 2 guys to fuck an ostrich. 3 even.
Again,
3 now.
We're hearing it was a sick ostrich.
Still, it's a 3-man job to fuck one.
Talk about going to the well one too many times.
All right.
Like,
you know
come
what?
on.
I'm going to call you on this, though, hon,
Stop
because
with the ostrich.
wait a minute. All right, guys.
Oh shit.
Here we go. I'm gonna tell on my wife here. After the last episode, so after we record, I usually stay down here and I because I want to edit and I want to put the upload the episode. She went to bed, but she didn't go right to sleep. Instead, I get a text from her saying, "What was the maybe I need to read the text. Can I have my phone, please?"
Oh boy!
I had to investigate
Real talk
to see how an ostrich mates to see whether or not it would be feasible for a person to
So here's a text I got
Fox said ostrich.
at 10 to midnight the night after we recorded the last episode. Ostriches mating wasn't what I thought it would be.
Dude, she's a keeper.
I thought bums up, head in the sand kind of thing. Turns out they sit on the ground for it. There's no way a human could do it. The video evidence has been locked in. I hate that I looked that up. I'm
you
crying.
Can't undo that. You can't undo that.
Oh shit. So the fact that she's like moaning and complaining right now about going to the well too many times, she went to the well. She went to the Google.
I feel like it's a soap opera, just like a standalone soap opera on this poor friggin' ostrich that did it or did it not get fucked up at the ass by some guy.
And with or without consent.
I'm just like every episode we seem to get like a little bit more information. Now it's a sick ostrich.
Well, and now there's 3 people
and
involved.
now there's 3 people, and it's still.
I mean, they're a big bird. Let's give them credit. They're big ass.
Yeah,
bird.
we saw one at the Elmvale Zoo. They are big.
And I just got to say, from looking it up on the internet on the mating technique, there's no way. There is just no way. No.
All right, moving on. So
now you're all going to look it up tonight.
All right. So it doesn't seem to matter.
I appreciate Spoach too.
It doesn't seem to matter to Derry that the girl dated Boots, although he's not picking up on her vibes. Wingman Wayne needs to explain to Derry how women show their interest.
Well, you see what she's doing with her hair? That's called a hair show. When a gal's sweet on a guy and she wants to get his attention, she just starts fucking with her hair a whole bunch.
And what for?
Well, it's so you notice more about the way they look, like how her face is framed with her hair up or down, and also make you think like when you want to touch it.
Well, yeah, I think I would like to touch it.
Well, get after it, but don't lead with the touching though.
All right, I will. Just not just yet. Maybe after a couple.
Well, I would like to touch it. So Wayne has a lot of insight to women's mating rituals.
Tanya, this is the truth talk.
Oh, she's looking it up.
I'm looking it up.
Matt, I thought you were Dr. Dr. Google.
Oh, there's an actual YouTube here of how to use your hair to flirt.
There you go.
I was looking for that, that in tune opinion from a female perspective here. I mean, he's talking.
Listen, I have my hand through my hairs. Yeah, I have through my hairs. I just put an S on that. Fuck.
That's Squirrely Tan. Squirrely Tan is here. Yeah.
I constantly flip my hair. I am not looking for anyone's.
It's self-conscious. It's an anthropological response.
It's a fluff. It is like my hair is getting a little matted to my head, and I am fluffing it to make it look fuller and more lovely.
All right. I think what she's trying to say is
hard no.
All right. We'll move on. Next scene. Jonesy and Reiley are in the shower talking about how they're going to take their games to another level. Everything's on the table except leg day. They're going to skip leg day.
Okay, bro, workout program, go. Gotta start with burpees, buddy. Just rip and burpee box jumps, buddy. 50 burpees, 50 push-ups. 50 burpees, 50 push-ups, stairs. Protein break. Just ripping skull crushers. Just ripping force reps. Force reps, supersets. Bird up. Just ripping anti-gravity press. Just ripping advanced kettlebell windmill. Just ripping barbell hack squats. Just ripping drop sets. Just ripping Swiss ball jackknives. Just ripping silly animal stack. Just ripping bent over, rear delt raise with head on bench. Fucking delts to die for, buddy. Just ripping cable rope, overhead tricep extensions, hashtag no excuses. Hashtag beach body. Legs? Hate doing legs. Let's skip leg day.
That's the best ass wash your life right there, boys.
Good work, Shorzy. Look at the hustle on Shorzy.
The best ass wash your life.
So there you go. They're very dedicated to their upper bodies, but not necessarily their legs. And Shorzy was the one upside down.
Oh, all right.
There you go.
Ass up.
Ass up, upside down. So that's Jared Kiso.
Okay.
In case you were wondering. Let's see. Shorzy never shows his face. Oh, I already said that. He's actually played by Jared Kiso. Night number 2. Next scene. Back at Modean's. Wayne is back at Big Buck Hunter. This time he's taken McMurray to the cleaners. McMurray tells Wayne that he saw Wayne's ex Angie at Modean's with her boyfriend the other day. McMurray is always so descriptive when it comes to Wayne's ex-boyfriend.
He came in here wearing a pair of Fandango pink pastel khakis with a white gold leather chain fucking wallet and a Creed t-shirt on.
Remarkable.
I know. He had a deep carrot orange fedora with a burnt orange stripe and a little cauliflower blue feather with a fucking, I don't know, looked like to be some kind of a black-bearded titmouse or some kind of shit.
Do you know there's a type of bird called a bush tit?
I did not.
It's a type of chickadee.
It would also had an imperial purple.
That'll do, McMurray.
Oh, I'm just saying it must suck balls to lose to a fucking douchebag like that.
He's very descriptive. As McMurray finishes talking, a pretty blonde comes up to Wayne and propositions him, which makes Wayne feel a little bit better about himself. Back at the bar, Squirrely Dan and Derry are approaching the female, they're appreciating the female clientele.
Christ, I would snort her dandruff.
I think you mean you'd sneeze her flakes.
And you are giving me far too much credit, my boy.
See, that's hilarious. But
that's the best line in the whole episode.
It is. It's great. Christ, I would snort her dandruff.
I literally burst out laughing when I heard that line.
See, I giggled and I looked over and Tanya's just sitting there.
I feel like I did.
Stone-faced.
No?
Maybe on the inside.
It was so over the top and so awesome. In fact, that came from Squirrely Dan was even better.
Yeah, exactly. So
he's so confident and just on point, and I love it.
Yeah, he is. But
I giggled. I didn't love it. I giggled.
Oh, jeez. Gail makes another pass at Wayne, which goes undignified with a response. The woman that Squirrely Dan was previously admiring brushes past him, and Wayne needs to explain to Squirrely Dan how he knew she was interested in him.
She's sweet on you. Get after it.
You think so?
You see what she just did? Touched your back and then moved on? It's called the unnecessary squeeze-by.
Is that what it's called?
Mm-hmm. You notice she had about half a fucking soccer field to get past, but instead leaned in close, got a bit handsy, like there was only a tiny lane to get by? The unnecessary squeeze-by. Go talk to her.
Let's fire back a couple of shots first.
Well, this is swiftly becoming a counterproductive practice, but okay.
So in both cases, Wingman Wayne has basically set them both up, and they both opt to just keep on drinking. The unnecessary squeeze by, I no word of a lie, I've seen it done a million times by guys at bars and gyms and anywhere that guys go trolling for women. So
hell. I think I've even been to a restaurant. And, do you remember that?
Yes.
My gosh.
Yeah. I don't think I know that happened to you too. Yeah. So.
Well, but that's because you were playing with your hair. That doesn't count.
It's true. You play with your hair. That's just like welcoming.
Let's not blame. Yeah, let's not blame the victim there, Victor. Come on. But once again, kind of a bit of a role reversal there. Interesting. Let's see. Scene 8. Next day, back at the arena, Jonesy and Reiley are sitting in the stands, crushing some sandos and criticizing other players. And then Katie walks up.
Didn't your coach tell you to get in shape?
So cheat day. We'll be ripping silly plyometrics right after this, so they cancel each other out. Then it's arms. Just ripping concentration curls. Just ripping cross-body hammer curls. Just ripping alternate dumbbell bicep curls. Just ripping line close grip bar curl and high pulley. Just ripping alternate one-arm dumbbell preacher curls. Just ripping standing one-arm bicep curl over incline bench.
You're an idiot.
Yep.
Yeah.
That sums it up right there.
So then
They're dedicated, though.
So outside, Katie stands having a smoke as she watches Jonesy and Reiley run suicides on the parking lot. It's apparent that they're all talk, no action when it comes to their fitness, but Katie finally agrees to go watch them play in their next game. Next scene, night number 3 at Modean's. The Hicks are at the bar, and a woman approaches Wayne.
Hi.
Oh, how are you now?
Good. You?
Not so bad.
Do you know where the washroom is?
Sure. Just right back there.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I'm Jessica.
Wayne.
I know.
What I love about that scene, you don't hear it obviously in the clip, but when she introduces herself as Jessica, he jumps up from his seat, standing up nice and straight, shakes her hand. I'm Wayne.
Class act.
I loved that.
That's right.
What a gentleman, eh?
Wow.
Yeah.
Does that not show his character right there?
Yeah, well, of course. And that's
all you need to know about him.
Yeah. But we're going to learn even more. Jessica clearly wants Wayne to follow her into the restroom. She walks off, but before following her, Wayne takes a moment to teach Derry and Squirrely Dan one final lesson in women's mating rituals.
Now tell me you saw that.
What?
She's giving me the big eyes.
That what she's doing?
The big eyes.
You know when a gal's sweet on a dude and she's shorter than him? Instead of tilting her neck up to look at him, she'll just keep her head straight and look up with her eyes, like puppy dog eyes. It's like, do you know where the washroom is? Versus, do you know where the washroom is?
Okay. Yeah. Big eyes.
By that point, Squirrely Dan was so drunk.
And it's funny. I mean, I know exactly what he's talking about here.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And I can get, again, I mean, I'm not a tall guy, but my wife's really short.
Mm-hmm.
So I've 100% gotten that look before where it's just sort of the eyes sort of peeking up to the top. And it's super cute.
Mm-hmm.
So I get it. I was on board with this scene the entire way.
Before following Melissa, Wayne buttons up his top shirt because apparently that's what you do before you get undressed. Leaving
Class act.
Derry
Make
and
himself presentable, you know.
Leaving Derry and Squirrely Dan sitting at the bar, wondering what happened. And Gail lays into the both of them.
Wayne, she's still giving you the big eyes.
Well, you don't have to tell me twice.
It's about time when I showed some finish. She's so hot, I'd jerk off her dad just to see where she came from.
I'm sorry, that's a great line. I don't care.
Amazing.
I don't care who it came from.
Victor is rubbing his head. It hurts.
I can understand. So I'm watching this with my wife on the couch. So I wasn't uncomfortable, but
I don't care how crude that is. That's brilliant.
I can imagine though. You're sitting there, and how old's William? Did you say 16?
He's 17.
With your wife and your 17-year-old son listening to this kind of stuff. I warned you when I first asked you to do this, and you were saying.
But no. My issues had nothing to do with Linda and William being in the room. I just don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Okay.
I don't like it out of Gail.
Right.
Maybe if it came from just some rando, sure, but it came from like so far this character that I'm not finding anything redeeming about.
All right. Well, we're not going to change our mind about Gail, but I loved it.
Does her character go any deeper than this? Like, is this the only level she has?
It gets worse if that's what you're going for.
Oh, God.
It does get worse.
Like, I could see if we kind of had like a little bit of who she was, but so far it's just no.
Maybe
But she's just that uncomfortable character. Like you learn to love her in her own uncomfortable, psychotic way.
Okay, let me give you an analogy, right? Uncomfortable characters. King of the Hill, right? That neighbor with the wife beater on it. What was his name? Like he's the uncomfortable character, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then there's still something redeeming to him. There's nothing redeeming to her though. Like I'm waiting for something, like an explanation that, oh no, this is going somewhere. There's a punchline.
Mm.
It's not coming.
I think you just
maybe you're supposed to not like her. I don't know.
Maybe.
But
You know what?
She stays true to herself.
This is a pretty large ensemble cast for any show, much less a Canadian show. So you can't go deep with every single character, especially this many characters. Anyway, maybe it's coming still. Maybe in the next season we'll get Gail's backstory, and maybe it's tragic. Who knows? So on his way to the restroom, Wayne notices a posted schedule for Modean's employees and sees his ex Angie's name on the schedule, which makes him reconsider what
is that what it was?
Yeah, I was wondering whether
it's the only name you could actually read.
Yeah, every other name is like scrawled like so you can't read it. And
I'm
then
like,
there's
is this like
Angie.
a cleaning list? Like, what's going on with this? Why is he staring at this? And why did he stop? I didn't get what was on it.
It's a weird place to put a staff schedule, just to say.
The first time I saw this the first time, I thought that was a bathroom cleaning schedule.
That's what I thought it was. I thought
with Angie's name on it.
So he's like a neat freak and he doesn't want to pull his trousers down in a dirty bathroom. That's what I thought was going on.
No, but it looks like it's a schedule for the waitresses maybe or the bartenders and
waitresses check your schedule.
Yeah, but the
at the bathroom,
Angie's name. Well, it's also near kind of an entrance. Angie's name is clearly like the only one you can read. So he sees Angie's name and obviously he's lost the mood and walks away in the opposite direction. Scene, does that change your opinion about?
It just changes the reason why he stopped.
That's right.
From a logistical standpoint, it's still a really weird place to put a staff schedule.
Yes.
Yeah.
But because there was a little confusion to it, it wasn't like such a big milestone moment or anything like that. It was just, okay.
Yeah, but he clearly walks away, so he doesn't go and do the deed. He leaves before the deed gets done.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Next scene at the hockey game, Jonesy and Reilly are having a better game, and Katie is in attendance watching, but she draws the attention of Shorzy and some of the other players, which doesn't sit well with Jonesy and Reilly.
Piece of shit. Who brought the fucking rocket, boys? Holy fuck, boys. Whose billet sister's a fucking rocket? She is a fucking rocket. I got a fucking rocket in my pants right now.
So there you go. There's a bunch of Gales there, Victor. A bunch of male Gales.
Yeah, it's not the same. They're just stupid. They're not main characters. They're not representing anything. They're just stupid idiot jocks, right? So.
All right.
I'm not excusing them, but I'm just saying.
And they're not degrading her.
Well, they're calling her a rocket. He's saying he's got.
But they're not like going into explicit detail of her genitals.
The one guy had a rocket in his pants. Anyway,
it's not the same. It's not like go and listen to the language. It's two different hemispheres there.
Yeah.
We have different levels of sensitivity on this show.
Apparently, yeah. Well, this is good though. This is good. Let's see. Scene 11. The bar is emptying out. Derry and Squirrely Dan are passed out, and Wayne is still awake and drinking. And then Katie shows up.
Wake up, you mutants! We're missing out on all the girls that do not want to have sex with you.
Awfully pedestrian effort from our boys tonight, Katie. No discount on bar tabs tonight, Chester and Charlie.
What was your problem, Big Shoots?
You did all right, didn't you, Wayne? Spent some time in the bathroom with a hot little spinner with such a butt on her. Took one look at it and thought, Jesus Christ, woman, you shit with that ass?
Boy.
Oh, man. Gail.
That's the least crude thing she said so far.
Yeah, I agree.
Then Jonesy and Reilly show up as well, and they have a request of Katie.
Okay, we don't want you coming anymore.
Too distracting for the boys.
What?
For the boys.
Just too distracting.
For the boys.
Yeah, no, I heard you. I heard you say that I'm a distraction. Okay. Well, guess I'll have to find one of your teammates to dibs my digits.
But we did those days!
But we dibs those digis. Back at the bar, Gail recaps the night's events with Wayne and then makes one final pass at him.
Got this $50 and no one to claim it. But say we put it in your jeans and see what else is hanging around in there while we're at it.
No.
Like, what's in your jeans, big fella?
Nothing.
I mean it, Crepes. I may not go down in history, but I'll go down on you.
Okay.
You want to do 8?
I'll help you clean up.
You go down on me? I'll owe you one.
Where's that rag? There it is. Wake up, big shoots and really big shoots. More hands make less work.
Call me Cake, because I'll go straight to your ass, cowboy.
Call me Cake because I'll go straight to your ass.
Want to do a 68? I love that line.
Yeah, it skipped a bit there, but yeah, it's 68. I'll go down and you owe me one, or the other way around. Anyway.
Yeah, that's it.
Then she tells the cake line, and that's when Squirrely Dan wakes up and he goes, "There's cake."
Is that when the egg falls out of his mouth?
Yep. He had the pickled egg, and he fell asleep with the pickled egg in his mouth. And one last Wayne's word of wisdom there, and this one here it comes up a lot.
More hands make less work.
More hands make less work. It seems like such a perfect farm boy kind of saying. Did your buddy have that saying too, Matt? He had the be a man at night, you can be a man in the morning saying.
Oh no, that was it. That was the extent of his wisdom.
All right, and then the only other thing that's left is the post-credit scene. Did you guys check out the post-credit scene in this one?
I forgot.
Unfortunately, I did.
Oh, you did? Okay. I think Matt, you really would have enjoyed this, and this one's probably the most. So it's basically the two hockey. I don't have the clip, but it's basically the two hockey players. And at first, it seems like they're laying in bed with each other, whispering sweet nothings to each other. And later on, the camera pulls back, and they're actually FaceTiming each other. They're just talking about how they crushed it that day, and then Reilly goes into great detail and about the sandwich that he made, and then afterwards they're like, all right, there's only one thing left to do, and that's masturbate. And then they each kind of like log off from their FaceTime chat and log on to some porn, and then that's how the scene ends. It's really ridiculous.
Totally reasonable.
Yeah,
it's what typical guy friends talk about.
Yeah,
really? Is that what happens?
No, it's absolutely not what happens.
Oh my gosh!
For Jonesy and Reilly, that's what happens. But that's it. All right, guys.
And just the eyes they were making at each other.
Yeah,
and the whole thing was just weird.
It was.
Not about Bert and Ernie thing.
Yeah, They really play up the whole homoerotic relationship that those two have.
I mean, I know there was one scene when they were running the
sprints,
doing like the suicides, the runs in the parking lot there, and what cracks me up is how the way they talk is like they're constantly being coached, even by themselves.
Yeah.
But, okay, all right, take a knee, boys. Let's do this, boys. Like everything's like there's always someone talking to them, guiding them through their days, even though it's just each other.
Oh, I hear the crickets.
Yeah, that's Matt there. He's out on the front porch.
That's where I reside.
That's yeah. All right, so let's get some final ratings for this episode. Who are we going to start with? Let's start with Victor, because I feel like this one's going to be pretty obvious.
Yeah.
Would you give this episode a fresh, a clearance, or a compost, Victor?
It's for the compost for me, my friend. This is the worst episode thus far.
First compost.
And I only hope we never get an episode this bad again.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Matt's so he's like wound up. All right. Let's compost from Victor. That's no problem. Let's go to Tanya now. Tanya, what would you say? What would you give us?
You know what? I was happy that we didn't have to see any of the skids this episode, or the creepy church minister, which was a bonus for me because I'm not a fan of but Gail is just there was no storyline, there was no depth to it. It was just hornballs and can we pick up, and there was nothing else to it. There was nothing that captured enough of my interest. So absolutely compost.
Wow.
Really?
Compost.
Yeah.
Comparison to Fart Book.
I know, right? This is, I don't understand.
Fart Book.
Where did you find these people, Val?
Fart Book had storyline to it. We got to see another side of the skids, their intelligence, their working together, and
they acted out the Social Network. We've seen that movie.
No, but we saw depth to their characters. We saw Wayne, having the fights, and there was a level of there was absolutely There's night and day between the two.
Now, Matt.
And Squirrely Dan brought
there is night and day between the two.
Your rating is your rating, Matt.
Yeah.
So let's not.
I know. I'm sorry.
This just fell short completely. Where's the storyline? There's no storyline. There was a few character hints here and there of who we're looking at and who we're getting to know, but it just fell short. There was nothing else. It was just that.
All right. I mean, all right. Okay. So you've given it a compost, and that's great. Matt, what would you say?
Oh, 100% fresh. Like this one, I laughed from start to finish. I mean, yes, the depth of story is not there, but the lines were gold. It flowed well. It didn't leave me bored at any moment. Squirrely Dan was so on fire. I laughed my ass off from the beginning of this thing to the end of this one.
Did you watch this one with Jen?
No. I watched this one with the baby.
What did the baby think? Did he think it was too?
Yeah, I mean, he cried through most of it. So I don't know if that speaks to his baby.
All right, fair enough. All right, so for my rating, I'm going to give this one a clearance. I wasn't as high on it as Matt. Obviously, I agree with Victor and Tanya in that the character development in this one is very minimal. I think we learned a little bit more about Wayne's character, and that's about it. Because everything else was just kind of about about spring fever, about getting laid and stuff. And I think we learned a lot about Gail's character, but obviously she's not for everyone. So I'm going to give this one a clearance. Just, again, hindsight being 2020, I know what's coming. So I know there's much better out there than this one, but I'm not.
So what made it good for you to give it a clearance?
I think there's just some classic lines in there. And I enjoyed the whole Wingman Wayne, angle. Like, I enjoyed that.
Yes, yeah. What I'd say is, I mean, I watch a lot of movies, I watch a lot of TV. I like this kind of stuff. I'm okay sacrificing character development in cases if I'm thoroughly entertained. And this one kept me entertained, even though I knew there wasn't a lot going on. So again, I thought the scripting in this one was so on point. Yes, Gail does her Gail thing. She's over the top. Love her or hate her. There's some good lines. Squirrely Dan, spot on. The wisdom from Wayne was on point. Like even seeing some more of Reiley and Jonesy there, like those two cracked me up, and get to know them a little bit more. I just laughed. Mm-hmm. That's all that mattered. I laughed.
If there was like a scale within clearance, I'd probably give this a low clearance. I think it's. I actually put this one kind of for me on par with Fart Book. I'd put it around that same low clearance. Yeah, for sure.
Wow.
No, so I was bored with Fart Book. I liked it for 5 minutes and then I gave up and was just kind of like, all right, let's get through this thing.
Yeah. The only thing that kept my attention in this episode was Wayne and his character and his insights and how he thinks and what he's, again, building his character, but everything else just went to shit.
Yeah, well, it's fair
enough.
Yeah, all right, let's go to our rankings now. So I have a top 3. Is top 3 enough, or do you guys want to go top 5? Because
there's only been 4 episodes so far.
No, I know, but we're gonna add the 4th now, and I have a feeling I know how the rankings are gonna go. But for Victor anyway.
Well, let's just leave it at 3 for now.
Okay, we'll leave it at 3 for now. So Victor, we'll start with you. You have Fart Book number 1, Super Soft Birthday, Ain't No Reason to Get Excited, which is the first episode, number 3. Does this knock any one of those off your top 3?
No, it just brings the other ones anchoring down because they're all connected. But it goes right to the bottom.
All right. Tanya, same to you. Fart Book, Super Soft Birthday, Ain't No Reason to Get Excited. Does this knock anyone off?
Absolutely not. No.
All right. And here's, I think we're going to get some differences. Matt, Super Soft Birthday number 1, Ain't No Reason to Get Excited number 2, and Fart Book number 3. Does this knock any of those 3 off?
Oh, well, it does. I'm just trying to think where to put it. You know what? I'm gonna leave Super Soft at number 1, and I'm gonna put this at number 2.
Really? Okay, so Fart Book's off.
All right. Oh yeah, it's gonna stay off. To me, it didn't fit.
Yeah. All right.
There was so much character building in that one.
No, there
and comedy.
That I can't believe it's coming out of my mouth because that one was the one that I was least interested. I thought it was the stupidest one.
You know what I compared Fartbook? Think of like any show, like even The Simpsons or something, when they take those episodes and they recreate something else using the characters within the show.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they did in Fartbook.
Yeah.
It had some moments, but I feel like they completely recreated a story that already exists for fun. That's fine. They did that. But that's what they did. So I don't know. It's just character development because it was all taken from somewhere. It was inspired from a different source.
No, because in that universe, Facebook existed. So it's not like they were trying to kind of do a parody of that. They were
guys.
completely self-aware. They were,
as they would say in the show, we fucked that pig in the last episode. So let's let's move on.
It's a passionate topic, Al.
It is. No, and that's fine. This is good. This is good. If we all agreed, this would be a boring podcast, would it not?
All right.
What I do see though is there seems to be a line drawn between Matt and myself and Victor and Tanya, which is I hope it's not always this way, but we'll see. So with my rating, I'm gonna put this one third. This one pushes Fartbook off the my top 3. Yeah.
There is a definite line there.
Yeah, there's a line. But it's my third, not my second. All right.
But it's interesting to me though too, because you guys already know some of the characters better than what Victor and I know.
So hopefully that's the reason for the difference in opinions. Maybe Matt and I know more of what's coming, and so we're that could be it. We could be tainted by it, biased by it. Who knows? So let's just move on really quickly here to some listener comments. Just some stuff from. I'd already mentioned we have some new Twitter followers. So, for example, Miriam from Toronto, she said, "Not to be impolite, but you started a podcast and take a vacation already." That's in reference to Matt.
Sorry, not sorry, Miriam.
And actually, I think Matt.
But I got to rock my flip flops for the week, so that was nice.
Yeah, and I liked your response to Miriam. Where is it? I can't remember now. Something about some D-Gen decided. Oh, here we go. I heard some flip-flop sporting D-Gen effed off for the week. So, yes. Thank you, Miriam. And hope you keep listening. Hey, you kids love Letterkenny, don't you? You might want to follow at Produce Stand Pod Pitter Patter. That's from Crazy Talk Al. That's Allison. Thank you very much. And not enough people know about at Produce Stand Pod. Just stumbled upon it today. That's from Amy Whitaker. Thank you very much, Amy. And then, of course, so Jason sent us that the tweet about enjoying the show, but he also did. I think he took exception to some of Victor's comments in the last episode as well, because in another tweet he said, "I'm on my 4th watch through. What you guys don't understand is that the characters are developed. They are true to who they are through the whole series. The show as a whole develops through the next 3 to 4 seasons. Also, lighten up. It's a comedy. Fucking embarrassing."
Yes, sir.
I love it. I feel like that might have been directed a little to Victor, but that's okay. Thank you, Jason, for listening. And Victor, do you want to respond at all?
No, it's fair. I mean, it's a comedy, but you can still, you can have levels of enjoyment towards a comedy, and
for sure,
and
for sure. Again,
it's all good.
Yeah,
he'll enjoy my comments in this episode even more. So,
I know. Through this whole episode, all I'm thinking was what he was saying, and I don't know if he's. Hopefully, he keeps listening. But anyway,
we may lose a listener, but what are you gonna do,
Jason? Like I said before, if we all agreed, this would be a boring podcast. So for now, half of us agree with you, half of us disagree with you. I think
the line is drawn.
The line has been drawn in the sand.
But just to dispute the comment, if I could, didn't you all say that there was a deepening of the character, the skid guy,
Yes, later.
They do develop. Some of them do develop.
We're a bit out from that.
Yeah, Gail does not develop, but some of the others do. So stay tuned.
All right.
All right. Anyone final comments? Does anyone have any final comments? Matt, did you have anything final to say? No.
I'm disappointed at some of your ratings. just full clarity, but no, this one was a fun one for me, and. This was, I know in full honesty, this is one of the episodes that made me love this show. Like I said, like it or not, I laughed my ass through the whole episode, and just thoroughly enjoyed it.
All right, Victor, anything you want to say?
It can only get better. So I'm looking forward to the next episode.
All right, Tanya.
Yeah, what Victor said. My goodness. Yeah, we're at the bottom. Let's go from here.
All right.
Only go up.
All right, guys. Thank you so much tonight. I'm going to play us out here with a track from this episode. It's called That's It, That's All by We Are the City.
Have a good night, everyone.
Good night, guys. It's got a really kind of soothing vibe to it. I feel like I'm on WKRP. And that's all we have for this episode. Next week, we'll recap episode 5 from season 1, Rave. Oh, yes, 10. You're going to love this one. Lots of skids in this one.
Oh,
Most facts discussed in this episode, podcast are courtesy of Letterkenny's fandom page. Please rate us on iTunes if you like the show. Follow us on Twitter at Produce Stand Pod. We also invite you to visit our website, theproducestandpod.com, for episode recaps, lists of our favorite episodes, and to email us. If you email us, we might even read your email on the podcast. Thank you for joining us. We're now going to skip leg day and crush some sandos. From all of us at the Produce Stand, good night.